First, the news. Asha Blake in this morning for Kevin Newman. Asha.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Lisa. And good morning, everyone. As one of the president's closest associates, Vernon Jordan, returns to the grand jury today, there's a new report out about what Mr. Clinton said under oath about Monica Lewinsky. ABC's Ann Compton has the latest developments from the White House. Good morning, Ann.
This is getting it out early. Asha?
All right, Ann, thanks very much. Ann Compton reporting from the White House today. Puerto Ricans are one step closer to voting on their future. The House of Representatives approved legislation last night to allow a vote on the island's status. Puerto Ricans would choose between remaining a U.S. Commonwealth, becoming a state, or gaining independence. A one-vote victory followed 12 hours of intense House debate.
What is best for the people of Puerto Rico?
The legislation now goes to the Senate, and even if Puerto Rico voted for statehood or independence, final action would require congressional approval. An American weapons expert is returning to Baghdad to help test Iraq's commitment to its deal with the UN. Scott Ritter is rejoining the UN inspection effort. Now, his last mission ended in controversy back in January, you might remember, when Iraq refused to let him visit suspected weapon sites and accused him of being an American spy. The defense is expected to rest today in the sexual misconduct court-martial of Sergeant Major Gene McKinney. Yesterday, the Army's former top enlisted man underwent a grueling cross-examination. But he didn't bend as prosecutors challenged his denials of the charges 6 women brought against him. Evenflo is recalling 800,000 of its On My Way car seats made from 1995 to 97 because of a faulty handle. Now, the recall is from model number 207, a combination car seat and carrier, and model number 492, which also includes a stroller. And that's the news at about 7 minutes after 7. Time now to check the weather with Spencer, who was ailing under the weather yesterday. Nice to see you back. What, you didn't want to work with me yesterday?
I just wanted to see if you could survive on your own without a straight man here, right? Okay,
nice
Asha.
to see you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Not much going on in the way of dramatic weather conditions today.
Let's get to the news of the morning. Asha Blake is in for Kevin Newman.
All right. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Lisa. And good morning, everybody. It will be an American first in space. Astronaut Eileen Collins has been chosen as the first female space shuttle commander. It will be made official at the White House ceremony this morning. Collins is expected to lead a shuttle mission later on this year. A California appeals court has thrown out part of that state's ban on assault weapons. 62 assault rifles had been outlawed, but the court said the banned guns are no different from ones sold legally. The 1989 law, you might remember, was approved after a gunman killed 5 elementary school students in Stockton. And there apparently is some new evidence in a decades-old murder mystery. An attorney for the son of Dr. Sam Sheppard says DNA tests suggest a third person was present when Sheppard's wife was killed back in 1954. Sheppard made that same claim during the decade he spent in jail for the murder before being acquitted. He died back in 1970. A man with 2 previous felony convictions could face life in prison after being convicted of stalking filmmaker Steven Spielberg. Prosecutors said Jonathan Norman was sexually obsessed with Spielberg. The life sentence is possible under California's 3 strikes and you're out law. And you can once again get up close and personal with some ancient Egyptian history. The smallest of the Great Pyramids of Giza is open to visitors after a year-long refurbishment. What home improvements did the pharaohs get? Well, some new walls and new ventilation. Among the upgrades, no kitchens, though I guess they're too expensive. About 3 minutes after the half hour right now. Time to check the weather with Spencer.
I always like
that
ventilation in my pyramids. Yeah, right?
Yeah, apparently they will get it now, so they'll be
air
happy.
in my pyramids, exactly.
That's right. Dusty, old, moldy, you know.
Yeah, I know how it is. Asha, we've got competing forces on the weather map today, a little bit of everything.
And they'll talk about it in today's Healthy Woman.
First, we're getting into the news. Asha Blake is in this morning for Kevin Newman.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Lisa. Hello, everyone. Puerto Rican residents may get a say on their very own future. Legislation passed by the House last night would allow them to vote on their status in relation to the U.S. The measure was approved by a 1-vote margin.
This is one small step to bring justice to America and to the Puerto Rican people. I believe it's crucially important as we go into the year 2000.
Now, if the Senate approves, Puerto Rican voters would choose between remaining a Commonwealth, becoming a state, or independence, and any change in status would require later congressional approval. Miami, you could say, is in a state of political confusion right now. 2 men are claiming to be mayor after a judge declared last year's election was tainted by fraud. Here's ABC's Mark Potter.
The judge ruled. Mark Potter, ABC News, Miami.
The Washington Post is reporting some new details of President Clinton's deposition in the Paula Jones suit. It says Mr. Clinton acknowledged under oath that he met with Monica Lewinsky perhaps 5 times and may have been alone with her. He also reportedly claimed it was his secretary's idea to get his friend Vernon Jordan to help Lewinsky job search. Jordan returns to the grand jury today. And China is launching some of the most sweeping economic reforms in its recent history. The national legislature, called the People's Congress, has begun what could be a landmark 15-day session. ABC's Jim Laurie is in Beijing.
This was the Congress. ABC News, Beijing.
Golfer Casey Martin tees up today in Austin, Texas. It is his first tournament since a federal judge ruled he could use a cart in competition because of a painful circulatory disorder. ABC News contributor Jimmy Roberts is in Austin to set the scene for us. Good morning, Jimmy. Now, I understand it's a scene out there with more than 150 members of the media tracking Casey's every move. Put some of this in perspective for us.
Well, Asha, last year, actually it was 2 summers ago, I was at Tiger Woods' professional debut, which was in Milwaukee, and there were more reporters and camera crews here, national crews, reporters, than there were then. So I think it's safe to say that this has exceeded even the hubbub that surrounded Tiger Woods' debut.
You know, that's amazing to hear that. Now, I understand that Martin spoke at a press conference on Tuesday. You've been covering him for quite some time. Did we learn anything new?
Well, really not very much of anything new, even though there were a lot of people here to listen to it. Really, the only thing that I heard that was new was a very interesting little dig that many people sensed towards Jack Nicklaus. Now, remember, Jack Nicklaus was one of the people who testified via videotape against Martin at his trial in Eugene, Oregon. This course that this tournament is being played on this week was designed by Jack Nicklaus back in the early 80s. Somebody asked Martin about the course, and he said, "Oh, yeah, well, I've played many Jack Nicklaus courses before, and this is not as bad as most of them."
Well, golf fans know of Casey Martin probably a lot about his game. For non-golfers, talk about what kind of a competitor he is.
Well, I think that what may have been lost in all of this is that Casey Martin is a very, very good golfer. If his driving statistics, for instance, if he were playing on the PGA Tour, he would be in the top 10 in driving distance, and he has won a tournament out here already on the Nike Tour, one of 2 that's been played. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary, or it wouldn't be unexpected if he were to play well here this week.
All right, Jimmy Roberts reporting from Texas. Thank you very much for that report. It is about, almost 8 minutes after the hour right now. Time to take a look at the weather with Spencer. Hello,
okay,
my dear.
Asha, thank you. Good to be back. Oh, did you say good to be here?
I was thinking it.
Oh,
you read
you're
my
thinking
mind.
it. I picked it up telepathically, right? That's how I do the weather. It's going to be a mixed bag today. A little wet weather out west, some rain, light rain.